yo, welcome to another episode of This and That. I'm your host, Mr. 357, and my guest today. Introduce yourself, sir.
Nightmare Big B, aka the King of New York champion.
Yikes. King of New York champ. Ladies and gentlemen, you gotta hear first.
Just came
So
off
what's going on?
victory, man, over Sarge, man. Haven't had enough time to process it. I mean, it only happened yesterday. It doesn't seem real.
Right. And it's like your second match in, and you're holding the biggest title in that show, because that show basically Fight Club, for those who don't know, is your Fight Club King of New York champ. Underground fight pit, New York City. This man holds the throne.
Goddamn.
So yeah, I was gonna ask you, right? You're not new to this efed shit, so you basically you know what you're doing over here with all this. So how does it feel being a part of a new brand that's actually it's a well-known brand because it's pretty much being followed? Shout out to A.Jizzle with 100,000 subscribers. We hit 100,000 views, something like that. So, welcome to the show, brother. Welcome to GW, GKW, same umbrella.
No, I just love the show, man. It's just it's very fun to work with different people that got the same mindset and the same vision as you. You know, it's crazy to think that 6 years ago when I started this, like, I started wrestling or efed wrestling, whatever, and I created my call for the first time. It was like, you know, I didn't know where I wanted to go with this necessarily. Who I wanted to wrestle, who I wanted to fight, or how big I was going to get.
This is like real, like if you was a real wrestler type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like what we do for those listening, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
This, you know how it is, man. This efed, you say you've been doing it for 6 years. So it's basically you living your life as a superstar, and you're a superstar in a certain brand. So let's hear how you started 6 years ago to the person you are now with your creation.
Sure.
Which is you. You know what I'm saying? Because you created this, and this is you. So
I mean,
how does it feel 6 years ago to now?
Feels good, honestly, man. I've fought the biggest names in the sport. I started my career, you know, unlike everybody else, you know, where other guys were fighting, and I watched and studied other guys too. They sat there and they fought rookie after rookie after rookie, and I always looked at it when I was my first year of fighting of like, and even now, 6 years into the business, is like, how could I outdo myself? What's the next biggest thing I can do? What's the next thing I can draw myself to? What's the next biggest thing that'll get eyeballs on me at the end of the day? You know, it was me fighting world champions in the WWE. It was then me fighting Jay North for over 3 years, and that was the most overviewed in professional wrestling. To then me coming and joining these other brands, some of them which I won't mention, because, again, for respect to GEW and GKW and respect to the promoters, there, I don't want to get into that too much. No, man, but it's just like kind of a representation of me, man. I was always a fighter growing up. I mean, even now, I'm a fighter still. I don't quit. I'm relentless. I push forward. I move forward. I take challenges head on. And, you know, I fulfilled on every promise in this business that I've made. I said I'd be the biggest in every promotion I've been in, and every promotion I've been in, half the roster knows who I am. They know what I'm about, and I'm excited to get to work and continue working.
That's awesome. That's what we want out here. That's what we're looking for. So you're trying to be the best, basically, and you are going to be the best because that's what you're saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't got that mindset, then why are you doing it, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're all in this business to either be the most popular wrestler on the roster or be a world champion. You know, there's two very different mindsets there. Is you can either sit here and you could talk about fighting people, you could talk about, hey, I want to be the world champion, but
correct.
You need to have the mindset of, I need to be the world champion. This is all I wanted, and I'm hungry, man. Like, that's when kind of the whole nightmare character, kind of like a whole nightmare moniker originated, and why I started calling myself that. Is because I think like we have all these like demons from hell. We have a demon king, who went from originally demon king to demon X. We have the phantom. We have the nightmare. You know what I mean? It's like these hell kind of horror characters are kind of people that are pushed forward and go to relentless lengths that will keep pushing forward, keep moving forward under pressure. They don't care. Like, and I train increasingly. I train immensely hard for my matches, and I overlook no opponent. So
Never overlook your opponent. That's fire though, man. Because you gotta like you sound like you have a lot of heart and you know what you want. And you're right, because the way I push myself in the efed as my character, I'm telling you, I go in like I want to be the world champ. Like I don't want none of these other belts. I'll take the tag team belt. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're a tag team, that means you and your partner are the most dominant motherfuckers in the game. So tag teams, that's a different, you know. Because tag team. How do you feel about tag team wrestling? Yeah, good.
It's also realizing too, I think as a singles guy, and as a tag team is so different for this reason, is because when you're in a tag team, right, you get like your performance in tag team wrestling, which is why it's been such an adjustment for me being from a singles guy to now a tag team guy, then not a tag team guy, kind of pondering on the tag team division a bit. Because when you're a singles guy, your work, your training, your dedication, your promotion for the fight, it solely relies on you and you only. Right? It relies on you and your opponent to make that match happen, to get a contract signed, to get things done, and that kind of thing. When you're in a tag team, when you're in a tag team, you got to constantly rely on your partner as well, and make sure that your partner is putting in 110%. And I really thought about for years, and again, I was a guy that really overlooked the roster and any efed that I was in, past companies that I was in, I would overlook my opponent. I did that a little bit in the last company before this that I was in. I kind of overlooked some people, but it's really to survive in this business, and I said this to Demon X, is really, number one, studying your opponent, knowing your opponent, but being versatile and not overlooking anybody, even if it's the smallest guy on the roster. You know, I treat everybody as the world champion, is that if I'm fighting for the biggest title in that promotion, that's how I treat it. Even if you're the smallest, weakest dude, I still train for you like, you're the world champ, and I'm here to take you out.
You can't underestimate somebody, because sometimes I look at people and I'm like, you crazy? This guy, like, this is who wants to fight, and then fuck around, that person just gives you the hands. You know what I mean? And you're like, all right, let me chill out a little bit.
And I've taken some tough losses in my career, like incredibly tough losses. Losses I thought I had the match in the bag. Times where the guy I was fighting didn't put up much promotion on his end. I was like, oh, well, he's not putting anything forth. Like, I got this in the bag. You know what I mean? I was a rookie. I was with rookies. We were all kind of like disrespectful little douchebags in the sense that we always made mistakes. We always thought we were the best. We always thought, you know, we had our first match and we already thought we were a world champion. So I've had that in my career, and it's again, learning from your mistakes and realizing that, hey, this is what I've done in the past, this is what I need to fix, and this is what I can do better on in matches and preparation.
I hear you, because to tell you the truth, like, I started a little different. Like, I always knew I wanted to be the world champ, but when I got into this, like, I'm still, you could say, a rookie, because bro, I've only been in it for what, 1 year, 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what I mean? Like, but I've been cooking. And in these 2 years, I haven't held no world title in this brand, in this company. But
you're also constantly
that matters to me. Like, I was a part of. I know the other efed, which we're not gonna mention, that we were both part of, that you mentioned earlier. I was actually a part of them. I am part of them in a way. You know, I'm still on the contract. But you're right. You get what I'm saying? Like, you gotta, you know what you're saying. Like, you know what you gotta do? You gotta keep that mindset where, like, I know I'm gonna be the world champ, but I know my place. You get what I'm saying? Because when I started, they always booked me in matches like Chambers and um
Mm-hmm.
like fucking Fatal Fours or fucking 6 man fucking battle royals and shit like that. I'm like, yo, when I'm gonna get some, like, when I'm gonna get my shot. You get what I mean? That's what you're really looking for. You want a shot, like you don't
That
mind maybe.
hunger and that
Right.
drive to be
Yeah.
successful in this business. If you don't want it, that's fine. And I think with what makes us so special than the other brands and the other efeds out there is that we just do it different over here. Like we have guys that are jacks of all trades. We have powerhouses. We have guys that aren't good at promos and just are very good in the ring and very successful at what they do. We have guys that are very successful at promos, maybe not very as successful in the ring. And then we have guys that do both, and it's kind of like, okay, well, and
You're
it's kind
right.
of too. What this teaches you about your game is it allows you to understand where you're going wrong exactly. Like I told, let's just name the two guys in the roster, even though I said I wasn't going to talk about them anymore. GD and 787. Like I told them, like y'all have so much potential, and in my opinion, y'all are wasting it.
Well,
But
I'm gonna be honest with you. GD's good. Like I'm not taking that away from 787, but GD, GD's like he's a tough motherfucker. I'm gonna tell you that. So
absolutely, 100%.
I put hands on him before, but in tag team matches we have a little storyline. We have a little story behind our little drama that we had. Um, but yeah, like you said, you didn't want to bring it up, but fuck it, right? Go ahead. What about GD and 77? Let's hear it.
I think with GD, I think he's good with promos. And I think his in-ring ability is good, but I don't think he follows through. Like, I don't know. I just think it's a lot of ducking going on from his end. And again, I'm done with that fight. That fight's kind of like out the window for me because the way I think of it is the only reason I fight people is that number one, the press is going to be there. Number two, the publicity is going to be there. And number three, the guy that I'm fighting brings the same exact energy. And I don't want to fight somebody that, you got to worry about, like, telling them, oh, you got to cut a promo, we got to have a build up to our match today. Like, I want them to just know, like, hey, we need to go now. We got a match coming up, a big time match. We're one of the biggest fights on the card. Like, you need to step it up. And it's the same thing with, as much as I hate him, I'll give him props, Demon X. He matches my energy well. He cuts a lot of good promos, and I've seen his work, man. I think he's gonna get called up soon. Like, I think he's on the radar to get called up to GEW. I think a couple more matches, maybe a couple more like dominant finishes, and I think then he's getting called up definitely. And it's the same thing too. I said to Jay, I was like,
before we get to Demon next, because that was a good point. They were saying a little rumor that you were ducking him. What's that about?
so the whole rumor about me ducking him is I don't understand where that rumor came from. I mean, I get it, like at the same time, because he went and automatically said, well, I'll call out the winner of Sergeant General and my match, right? So I was kind of like, I didn't see that comment come up because I was more focused on me beating Sergeant General because, dude, I was like RJ Bombshell was for his match against Sarge. I was nervous, dude. Like, I had a confident exterior, but inside I was like, I don't know if I can beat this dude. Like, but I'm gonna put on a confident, brave face. I'm gonna go in there humble and respectful because I don't have any beef with Sarge. You know what I mean? So I kind of went in there and kind of like thinking, like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, I went from Demon X to Sarge. I'm like, this is really possible. It happened, and then he all of a sudden said, I challenged him to a fight. He said no. Like, I don't want to do it. I've beaten you twice. What sense is there for me fighting you again? Then automatically I get the title, right, and I win the belt, the King of New York title. And he goes and says, oh, well, now I want winner. Now I want to fight you. So it's just kind of like a double-edged sword where, like, you can't say when I had no title, you didn't want to fight me anymore, you beat me twice.
Whoa. Yeah, go ahead.
And now you're saying, oh, well, now I need to fight. And now I want your championship. which again doesn't make sense because in my mind too is I was on to other fights as well. Like I wanted his partner Manny Mags because I thought that would have been a good story, man. Mags and I have been brewing, some stuff have been brewing with us in other companies. The Fed where the company where we met, we didn't really get to have that match that we wanted to have and we talked about. And then I joined him, and then I joined you in other two promotions in GEW and GKW, and y'all were like, let's make the match happen. I was like, okay, cool. So, and the other thing too is like, the other reason is too, I'm trying to do things different with the King of New York title. Like, I understand it's a whole call out thing. I don't want to step on the idea of the promoter's toes, man. But here's the thing, right? With another thing, and I have an issue with the call out, which I'm going to explain a little bit on, is if you call me out with the King of New York belt, right? And you call me out to fight, and I'm just supposed to accept, you know what I mean? But you don't bring the same hype. So then the promo for the match is kind of like let's say it's 787 calls me out to fight for the King of New York title. I'm just supposed to accept, right? But then there's going to be no back and forth, no promotion, no hype. You know what I mean? Like, there's going to be it's going to be me cutting promo after promo after promo and him kind of just being like, eh. And then the match comes around and everybody's like, why are these two fighting? What's the story here? And that's why I like the number one contender idea with you and Demon X. And also, I wanted to give you your respect because I promised you again. I remember a year ago in another promotion, I promised you that we would run it back. We were on two different trajectories, career-wise and career paths at the time. We had two different mindsets, two different goals. I wound up getting fired from the other company. Then I wound up joining you. And now it's kind of looks like the stars all align again for me to... And I wanted to make sure, like, you hooked me up with hiring me. I want to make sure you get your shot, man. And I'd love to fight you again.
Yeah, I'm not really I'm not really much of the CEO or anything like that. I'm just basically recruiting tough motherfuckers to like come join and fucking beat somebody's ass. And I'm gonna get to you with that old King of New York thing, right? The whole King of New York thing is it's basically a fighting pit, like a theater. We'll put it like in a theater, we'll put it in like a backyard or some shit.
Yeah.
And it's straight. We're gonna fight, and you can either tap or you're gonna get knocked out. There's no pinfalls. This is like
hey, absolutely, I'm down for
wrestling shit. You get what I'm saying? Like, the ref is there just to make sure to put a stop to the fight, because this is Fight Club. So the King of New York title is like, I'm the toughest motherfucker here. I'm the king here. This is New York City. This is an underground pit. I'm the king. I got this belt. Who wants it next? That's the whole idea of it. That's why that belt never gets defended in triple threats or anything like that. That belt has to be straight up one-on-one. Like, if you're tough to take the beat to be the King of New York, then come and knock me out or make me tap. You get what I'm saying? That's the whole...
Exactly, and that's what I want. That kind of like, that whole idea with the belt kind of fits into my style is, hey, you want to stop me, you're either going to have to come knock me out clean, you're going to have to beat me with a clean shot. And I think I've only been knocked out in my 6-year career. I think I've only been knocked out once in my entire career. And I've only been dropped once. So.
Well, and another thing too, to save your legacy about the knockout thing, we could also do tables matches. You get what I'm saying? Or like I don't know, like something brutal. Like, I don't know. Well, let's see if Hell in the Cell allows you to do like KOs and submissions only type shit, because you might be able to get knocked out once they throw you off a cage or some shit. No,
I honestly don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know about that either.
You'd have to check on that. Like, I think like if you did like I don't know about tables matches. I know if you go to the table, that counts as like a knockout.
Correct.
I don't know with cage matches though. Like, that's a good question. Like,
would it count as a table if we put it as a tables match? That's what I'm saying. So, like, you know how they get thrown off the cage and you fall to the table? Would that count as a as a point
Yeah,
as
I
table
really
matches,
don't.
whatever.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I really don't know. That's a good question. We'd have to try that out as like a test run,
We'll have to give it a test run on that.
and then see what happens with that.
Excuse me. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So, what other questions you got?
Of course, man. That's what I was just answering yours about the Fight Club shit. The other thing I
Oh,
was gonna tell you was, how do you feel about GKW and the whole GKW movement, knowing that you're in a developmental kind of promotion to get into the real main roster brand of the main roster of the brand. You know what I'm saying? Like, how does the GKW movement, the developmental shit, stage and all that shit go for you? Because technically, you beaten a GEW man, and you had taken the title off of them too. So let's talk about it. How do you feel about that GKW, and knowing that GKW is making you still a part of the GW brand? It's just you got to prove yourself in GKW first before you can fight somebody for real in the GW with pinfalls, and you're in the biggest show pretty much. So go ahead, how do you feel about that? That's the question.
So with GKW, I think it's definitely a developmental brand, but I think it's definitely going to shift in the next couple of years from looked at as just a developmental brand for guys to work on their craft, and then I think it's going to shift to being a mainstay brand. And like again, us having the first ever GKW pay-per-view, like that's just the for all the guys that was on it and girls that were on that pay-per-view and that card, y'all were a part of history. Like let's let that sink in. And I know there are a couple of GKW guys watching. Let's let that sink in. Is y'all were a part of history. Like that was the first ever card. Like that proves
pay-per-view. Yep.
That proves for the first ever pay-per-view, like, hey, we're a legit brand. Like we're not just some. And I think that's kind of like the start of GKW kind of being its own kind of brand, or like an alternative, I should say. So like GEW was like, it's gonna get major like clout behind it. It's gonna get major views behind it. It's gonna get money that's gonna be behind it and invested in it. Is people are gonna look at GKW in the next few years and look at the talent that we got and be like, damn, like it's good. So I definitely think it's a good place to work. And I definitely think it's a great thing to do. Management wise, personally, I think it could be better as far as making sure that everyone is involved and everyone is included, because I know there were some people on that pay-per-view, or some people that weren't on the card that were promised spots that were pissed that they weren't promised a spot, and I can advocate for that. And this is no disrespect to Zay. Like, he does a phenomenal job with GKW, did a great job with the first ever pay-per-view. It just, in the back of my mind, the way I'm thinking about it is, you want GKW to be the brand for GEW guys to make their mark and to make their presence known. And now kind of developing into your own brand, and it just kind of, I don't know, it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way when it was like,
yeah, go ahead.
Not having stories match. I don't want to, it sounds like I'm dissing Zay, which I'm not, but I'm just speaking the truth. Like, at the end of the day, we talked about it, and I wanted to be on that card because that would have been something I could tell everybody in the company is, look at me, I'm on that card. I set the trajectory,
right,
the landmark. And every guy and girl that was on that, whether you won, lost a match, or you drew in a match, whatever, you still won at the end of the day. Like, because you could say, I was on the first ever GKW pay-per-view in history. And I think within the next couple of years, it's going to be its own brand. But yeah, definitely a great place to work. And I'm looking to see what I can do more of. I mean, there's definitely a couple guys I got my eye on. And I think there's a couple fights right now for me that make sense. So we're just going to, I've been celebrating for the last couple of days my big win over Sarge. I'm going to get back in training camp, and then we're going to see what options look good, and I guess move from there.
I can't believe that, man. Like, you came in and fucking you beat the general. You whooped his ass, basically. So,
dude, I was shocked myself because I watched the
man, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Thank you, I appreciate that. I was watching the first half of the match, and I was getting beaten up. I'm like, damn, I don't know if I'm gonna win this, because like I'm getting dominated. I'm having very, very little offense. Like I gotta like push a little bit, push back, and get on the defensive a little bit and fight back. Because otherwise, I'm losing this match if I don't fight. Sure enough, I get that second wind in me. I'm in the ring. I'm getting beat up. I'm getting hit from all angles, and I'm like, shit. Like, this dude is no joke, man. Like, if I don't pick up the pace a little bit, I don't match his pace. I lose. And I noticed that when I was in training camp, that was something I would work on. Is like, because I watched a lot of tape on Sarge, and I saw when even I studied mainly the RJ Bombshell match with Sarge in general, because I saw when RJ picked up the pace, Sarge wasn't able to keep up.
So from what you've seen so far, to rebound off that, from what you've seen so far, what do you think of what do you think of the talent of GW right now from what you've seen? Because if you're over here beating the Sergeant General in Fight Club, then I'm pretty sure you caught attention from the GW stars, and you do know that RJ Bombshell busted his ass in GKW, right?
Absolutely, and I respect that man for the hell that he's gone through. I've watched, I've been here for a little while, but like I've seen, behind the scenes and on camera and on YouTube, I've seen the amount of crap that he's gone through. And I appreciate that man's hustle, because again, there are very few people in this business that are like him, that will push through, that'll push forward. Again, it's like in real life, man, as well as our promotion, there are constantly people that want to complain, want to cry, want to moan about their spot on the roster, yet they don't want to prove themselves at all. So in my mind, it's kind of like when I see somebody like RJ, I respect him, because it's somebody that is willing to fight, willing to push the boundary, and willing to move our company forward and put our company on the map. And I think that's what separates us from other companies, is being able to be versatile and being able to have multiple guys that are into it, passionate about what they do, passionate about their show, and passionate about their ideas. Plus, I think with this efed in general, I think a lot of promoters get caught up in the whole make my company the biggest. Because I've been in this scene for 6 years, I've been wrestling for 6 years, and I've seen some very dark promoters, the dark side of some very big promoters in this space, and people do some nasty shit. So when I came to GW and GKW and noticed, like, hey, there's no BS here.
Yeah, everything's legit here. No, they ain't doing none of that dirty shit behind the scenes and none of that. The thing with GW and GKW is that GKW is developmental, obviously, but like you said, maybe the booking and the managing could be better, which I agree, because you gotta be dedicated to this shit.
Right, 100%. And if you're always, again, as a business and as an organization, as a company, there's always ways that you can improve, whether it's coming down to management, right down to the people you hire. Because again, you only want people that are gonna, in return, as a management staff and from a wrestler standpoint, because I've been both a promoter and a wrestler, and I've been behind the scenes a little bit in other companies, so I know I have like a sense.
You know how it works, right?
I have a sense of what goes on. From a wrestler standpoint, we look at our management as confident, fair, unbiased, and cleaning up, like making small mistakes, but then realizing and being able to clean them up. And then from a management standpoint, from a hiring standpoint, you want to make sure that your talent is clean, groomed, pretty much knows what they're doing in the ring and out the ring, and keeps it professional, whether it's in the ring, backstage, behind the scenes, whatever.
Absolutely. That's real, because you basically know the way it works, so you full to this shit. When you see something, when you see a bad product, when you see something not going away the way it's supposed to, then you know what to do. The thing with with the whole, I guess, with the whole promoting and booking people, it's like
I'm just gonna run and get a charger real quick, but keep talking.
Yeah. He's new to this. You get what I'm saying? Like, he's new to like being a host of a show, and like obviously it's his first pay-per-view. You know what I mean? So I don't know. You know you got to do what you got to do. So the thing is, he's a better wrestler than he is a promoter, if you ask me. But he's great when he does his. When he's on point, he's on point. When he's not, then guess you're like, dude, come on, wake up. Sometimes you gotta tell your boss too. Sometimes, like, yo, slipping, boy. You know what I mean? But other thing I was gonna ask is like, when you get back, because I know you're still looking for your charger or some shit. But I'll ask you since you walk back to the mic. Shout out to Demon King out there, man. Shout out to Jay North. You out there too. Fucking Big B. Beat the General in A. Universe. In the GW universe, he beat Sergeant General. That man the GOAT. Now you have the King of New York champion. Here now live.
Yo, I'm sorry, I'm back.
Yeah, good man, you good. I was asking if you had to pick like, a couple talents that you see in GKW right now. Give me at least top 5. You have a top 5 or maybe a top 3? Or maybe people
I have
you wanted to work with. You know what I mean? The most. You wanted to work with anybody, obviously, by the way you speak. But you gotta have certain people too that you've seen, and you're like, you know what? I would like to work something out with that person, work something out with this person. You have any ideas also, like any ideas for your gimmick, for what you're going out here doing, and maybe like storylines that you want to like share. We're all ears, bro. My listeners, they ready to hear some shit too. Whatever you got, man. You know what I mean?
So man. For storylines, I'm all about kind of like letting them manifest on their own. I guess with me and Demon X, Demon X is definitely somebody I got my eye on. I'm sure we're definitely gonna meet again. Like this is the end for the two of us. Him and I just kind of manifested the storyline the way that it was, but we did it naturally. It kind of just flowed because you had two guys that just wanted to prove, okay, I'm here. I want to make a statement. This is my company, nobody else's. So I got no ideas as of right now for storylines, but I know we have one brewing right now between me and Jay, and then Mags and Demon King, or Demon X, I'm sorry. My mistake. I forgot he doesn't go by that anymore.
Demon X is your current 100 grand champion, meaning every day that goes by, that's $100,000 richer that man gets.
That's respect for that, man. I mean,
GKW. Shout out to GKW for that. That's a dope idea.
I mean, $100,000 going in your. I mean, that's kind of nice, man. I don't know.
Daily. Imagine that, right?
Could there be a title for title? I mean, we'll see if he gets past you at the end of the day. And the reason, I'll explain the reason behind why I did that as well. There's another reason why I did that.
But the thing is with the Fight Club, you don't really got to worry about it because, well, it's non-canon. Fight Club is basically, what's up? You tough? I know you fight in GKW. I heard about you, or I see you in GW. What's up? You know what I mean? Like, So that's what Fight Club is. So, but I get what you're saying. But
I got my eye definitely on. Let's see. Got my eye on Manny Max. I think definitely there could be some matches there. We've
El Chingan.
We've planted the seeds here and there. It's funny because the last time I did one of these, it was for Chingan, and I think when I started in the company,
my bad, I cut you off. Loco Chingan is actually nice too.
That's his wife or him?
I believe that's probably his wife, but she gets busy in the rings, folks. So if you're watching,
I've seen her. Like his wife is she's a fighter. Like she's crazy. No, I'm kidding. But like she's good in the ring. I like her.
She's good.
Obviously not in another way. I don't want to cause problems between me
No,
and
no, of
Manny.
course. We know it is strictly professional. Yeah, he knows what it is.
I
Shout out
mean,
to shout out to Max.
I'm in a happy relationship too, so
You
no
know,
worries on my end.
for sure.
You know, at the end of the day, it's with me and Mags. Sorry, Shingon. I keep calling him by his real name. I think we can really make some magic there. I mean, we've planted seeds in the past. We've talked about it behind the scenes. You know, little bits and spurts. I think and another storyline, another idea I had, which Demon X and I were working on some stuff. But you know how I was wanting. I told you this, and I think it was me. I told Jay because I wanted to bring this idea back because I thought it was a great idea. Never got to see how it went and see the full play out. Was the Corrupted Gentleman. That was an idea that
Yeah,
we
shout
had.
out to Corrupted Gentlemen. So I heard about this.
Me, Jay,
Talk about that a
Trav,
little bit
Vicky.
more about talking about the general and how that once came to be and like how you guys thought about this whole thing because
So
you guys
the
thought about
Corrupted
this
Gentleman.
before. The Corrupted Gentleman. Let's get about it. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, we have it in another promotion. We met you. So pretty much Jay and I had known each other I met him in another promotion called TCW. Not to shout out another brand or anything, but I met him through. I met him through Joker KYS, I think it is, or KS, something like that. And I had met Jay when I was a young rookie. I was in my second or third year of wrestling. It was really my first big fight, and we had worked together for years. We were enemies, and then now we're friends, obviously. We've worked together for a few years. So then Jay and I had the idea. Jay had come to me with an idea of what if we start our own faction? We saw all these other guys in the other promotion had started their own faction. There was a big at the time. It was a faction war. So we were like, okay, well, we're two singles guys, but what can we do to make this team work? Obviously, because we're the great faction, right? You have Jay and I realized, and became friends because we're two people that think alike. We think the same, we act the same when it comes to the business. And Jay and I are, and I fucking respect the hell out of Jay North, man, and Phantom as well. He's so versatile at what he does. So he came up to me with the idea of yo, we need to start this group. I think it can go off. I think it can take off with the right people in it. He's like, do you know anybody that, he's like, are you down to do this? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I'll pitch it up to the board. The board, the management at the time approved and said we could do it. And then the time was me and Jay, and then we thought, okay, well, we have a couple of other friends from other promotions. Why don't we bring them in? Because it'll give the promotion we're in, and we're focused on the main, the most clout and the most following it can get. Plus, we can bring our boys in. So now, you don't ever want to be in a faction and it'd be 5 or 6 strangers that don't know each other. Because then, what's the point of being in the faction? Because, you have Jay and I who are pretty much identical with the way we just do things in general.
Yeah, you guys have something similar that I can't put my finger on it, but you guys do have a resemblance when it comes to walking out from behind that curtain to in the ring action. Something similar that I've seen it. So you're absolutely right. We see it. I'm pretty sure someone else seen it too. So
we both realized too, in a couple of years ago, we work the same in wrestling. We think the same, we act the same. We're so identical. I said to Jay one day, I texted him and went why are we fighting? We're exactly the same person. Our work ethic's the same. Our dedication to this business is the same. Our goal and our mindset is the same. Why don't we just team up, dude? Because I think I brought up the idea for the original. It was originally supposed to be me and him, right? That's the original idea that I pitched to him. Was let's make a tag team. He went, I'm not a tag guy. You're not really a tag guy. I'm not a tag guy. What makes you think this tag team could work? Kind of way. I'm not trying to make him sound like an ass. Right. That's what he said to me. And then I was like, well, I said, we're two guys with the same vision, the same mindset. Why don't we just show the people that we're about that and let it follow? So then we teamed on and off. And then years later with the Corrupted Gentleman, like a year ago, was when really we got our foot in the door and was like, okay, we're doing this for real.
Yeah.
Like, this is what we want. This is what we're doing for real. Like, this is what we need to do because we're so alike, dude. Like, we think the same, we act the same, we walk and talk the same. People can't tell us apart. So then I got in another good creator of mine, Jay got a couple of his buddies in, which his friends wound up showing up and then not really being about it. So we kicked them ourselves because we were like, we want like-minded people that were about it. Then I was talking to Travis, which is a good buddy of mine. I've been with him for a couple of years on Twitch, and I hit him up with this idea. Like, yo, Jay and I have this idea. We think your face painted kind of gimmick would work well. And then we hit up Ziggy as well. I think you know a little bit about him. Ziggy's a guy in wrestling that likes to have fun, and he loves to fight as well. But he's he brings a different kind of like element to our group, which we thought was good. So it was me, who else? Me, Jay, Ziggy, Trav, and there was one other guy, I can't remember who it was at the moment. But then we started thinking, okay, well, now we're in GEW, GKW. We don't want to be different like we were before. I said to Jay, why don't we bring back the Corrupted Gentleman? And he's like, why? And I'm like, dude, I said, we never got to try it out. I said, it was a great idea. I said, but we never got our foot in the door as far as that idea, because I had gotten fired from the other company that we were in, that we tried the idea in for something. And then the promoter took over my entire group, because Jay and I were like co-leaders, but I was more active at the time. So I was kind of like the primary guy that was kind of leading the faction, whatever. And then Jay got fired after that. He took over the group, and then the promoter fired Jay North. Jay got fired. He knows the story. And then our faction was left without a leader, and it was three guys that didn't have guidance. And again, you can't have three wrestlers that don't know guidance and discipline, and have their two leaders get fired, because then we don't know what to do now. And it kind of was just like, the whole idea was dead, because the three of them were all like, Ziggy, Trav, and they all came together and were like, oh, well, we don't want to do it without Big B. We don't want to do it without Jay North. Like, this was their idea.
Sure,
like, we don't want to just bite off and steal off them, which I respect them for that.
Yeah, sure. You know what it is too, man? Like, we were talking about this the other days, because I actually know you behind the scenes, stuff like that. But we were talking about this the other days. Like, some people just don't recognize the real talent. You get what I'm saying? Like, they know these people have, like, you guys have potential. I'm gonna say, like, like if I'm in the third person, like, they see that you guys have potential to do certain things, and they don't like it. You get what I'm saying? Like, they're envious of your, like, success, so they look at it like, you know what? Fuck these guys. It's my shit. You know what I mean? It's my show. I run it. Whoever I want to fire, I fire them, and I do whatever the fuck I feel. So, and they...
Right, but that's not right. That's cheating talent out of
opportunities. Absolutely.
And then the other brand, we know some certain promoter, I don't even want to give him attention. I feel like we've thrown little shots at this promotion, and I feel like we don't want to name names, because again, we don't want to draw attention. We don't want to cause trouble. We want to let them do their own thing and us do our own thing. But at the end of the day, like, it's hard not to mention, like, and I think with Jay, man, it broke him. Like, I know Jay behind the scenes as well, man, and he's a kid, dude. Like,
yeah,
he's a kid. Like, and he got broken by this, dude. Like, this was his one, like, breaded. Like, Jay obviously has other promotions that he's in, but, like, this was his main bread and butter.
He was loyal
like, to me, I was pissed off, but I forgot about
the brand, and he gave it more than 100%. He gave it pretty much everything, and the way they did him because I know how it went. I know how it went down, and the way they did him dirty, man. There's no excuse for that, man. Like there's no proper way to say, yo, oh well, I saw it in this kind of way, and I saw it like Jay North did that, and nah, man, like you don't do that to somebody. He's one of the day ones too, so. When you're day one,
And I
you're
think
supposed
too
to be
with
certified, man, and you don't treat people like that, bro.
exactly, and I think with also too with his own brother, his younger brother, seeing through the BS, and I think they had issues after this was all said and done. Like Jay's still very good friends with them. I mean, I'm just saying because he wasn't really involved in any of the decisions, but Mythical Shaft, A-Rich, the brother of the promoter who shall not be named. Like, I was like, when I saw him, I know Jay's been working on this ECW project for a little while. He's told me about it.
In
He's like,
ECW, it's not Extreme Championship Wrestling. Just for those out there listening, this is a different ECW. So, you know,
like him and A-Rich, dude, like he threw shots at you know who, and like his little brother didn't even stick up for him. He kind of went along with it and was like, yeah, but like that hurts, dude. Like imagine you're the promoter, right? Your little brother is working for the competition. The guy that you just hired your brother. Like that's a shot and a half right there. Like,
yeah.
Like Jay, dude, like, and that hurt, man. Because imagine, and I want to ask the audience this question too: is have y'all ever put your hard work and dedication into something, and then somebody tries to fuck it up, man? It's the worst goddamn feeling because you waste so many hours and so much time on this one particular thing, and then it only takes one person to fuck it all up, and then it's done. It's over. You're screwed.
Yeah, man.
That goal you had, and then that vision you had, and that loyalty means nothing. Crumbles to dust.
It's like, well, like you said too, man. When they do shit like that, it makes you feel like a certain way that it breaks you inside, man. Like, you know, it's like I lost like the momentum, and like I lost the, like how you say it, like I lost the love.
Dude, I know this is just a game, but it made me lose love for like all like of efed wrestling, and I took literally like months and months off. Like I had people asking me to do projects and shit with them, and I was like, I'm not feeling it. Like I'm sorry, like mentally, I'm and emotionally, like in my heart, I'm just not in it anymore right now.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if I'm gonna retire. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like,
you're right.
Like this might be it for Big B. This might be the end. Like, you know, because I had never been fired from a promotion before. It was like, yeah, I'd left. You know,
it sucks.
So what? Big whoop. Like people leave all the time. You see wrestlers in WWE and AEW. Half of their roster left WWE and worked for them.
The thing is with that too is like, you know, like when you get like fired for something that you didn't really do, or like something shitty where you're like, what? You get what I'm saying? Like, or even for something that you just probably stepped up and said, yo, I don't believe that you should be doing this, and they tell you.
That's what I said to him, dude, because we had a private chat. I was working one day, and I was in the roster chat, and I was just sitting there, and I had gotten the warning the night before. They silenced me pretty much. I couldn't chat in the Discord. Wasn't allowed to do anything. Wasn't allowed to even cut a promo. Wasn't allowed. I wasn't allowed. They're trying to silence me through everything. So the promoter had texted me, yo, we made a decision. You're out. And I'm like, what? Like, you're fucking with me. You can't be serious.
Yeah.
They're like, you're out. You violated the terms. I'm like, dude, after all I fucking gave you, I gave you 110%. I went on the podcast. I did my media for the fucking brand. I promoted the shit out of all of you. I said, what a good fucking brand this is. This is different. This is gonna take off in a couple of months. And now you're firing me for what? And they're like, we gave you a warning. And I don't remember what I said. Oh no, I think I had cut a promo with some like, I think I'd asked something about like a real, maybe I'd gotten a little too real, I guess, and too edgy. because the promoter didn't like, obviously, for the people that don't know, the promoter, who will not be named, didn't like when you called him out to fights. He didn't like it, and you were a rookie.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So he had done me wrong, but obviously you can't get back at a person in real life, nor would I want to. So I said, let's go. Let's fight in the game. Let's fight in that promotion. I want a match with you. Let's wrestle. Let's fight. Shut up and fight. Do you accept or not? And then I tried to bait him in a little bit, like, oh, I'm just a little rookie, you know? And I was like, I'm just a little rookie. Like, you should have no issue fighting me because, again, I'm nobody, right? You say I'm nobody. But meanwhile, people give you a bad rep and talk shit about you all the time. And people say great things about me and my character and what I do. So people know us in this scene for different reasons. So which one of us is lying here? And it was him, a couple of other people. I think it was Cherokee. I don't know if Chingon had any decision or part in my firing. I don't really want to know the answer to that question, because I like to think of people like, and number one, I forgot about the situation. I still kind of have a little resentment, but number two is with certain people like Chingon, I don't really care like that much, but I have a feeling I know who kind of conspired to get me fired, if that makes sense.
Right.
Didn't mean to rhyme
Right.
there, but I kind of have a feeling, no, it was definitely Cherokee. It was definitely Cherokee. He definitely set me up. And I fully believe that that his golden boy set me up to get fired. You know, because again, the thing is, the issue I think a lot of people have with it, and the reason this brand is not going to survive at all, in my opinion, and the reason they're ruining and tarnishing everything that you've worked for. You know, you patented the brand. You know, yeah, you can get it legally signed. An efed brand. First of all, he said that he'd gotten the brand patented, right? So nobody else could take it by lawyers and legal officials. Dog, it's a game. How do you get a brand patented?
Yeah.
In a video game.
Yeah.
Like what?
Sometimes people take it too far with the game thing. You know, like talking about copyrights and. I get.
Yeah, dude, he went legal
for your entrances and shit. But at the end of the day, are you really that mad that I'm taking your music to promote a video game? You get what I'm saying? Because I'm doing a show and I'm promoting your music at the same time. So whoever's watching my show is listening to your songs. So why are you mad about copyrights? You know what I'm saying? And we're not even making any money out of this.
Dude, the board was scumbags. So I had texted him, and I texted him back after I got out of work, and I was like, dude, are you serious? Like, I'm just leaving work now, and now you're telling me I'm fired for something I didn't even do. You're trying to screw me out of this and that. And he's like, well, my team has made a decision, and I stand by my team. I'm like, no, your team is wrong. I'm sorry. But, like, you can't just go back and make rules and go back. Like, you're literally shitting on all of your fucking hard work as a promoter. Everything you had built up to this point, as far as getting the brand to being this badass renegade show, it's gone. You blew it up in smoke. And your little committee there blew it all up in smoke too, because you guys are a bunch of dudes that take the game too seriously. Like, why did you need it patented? Why did you need to put a patent on the game, dude? Nobody's gonna steal your brand, dude. It's a game, right? I have my show, BCW. People want to use the show, fine. I had one incident with somebody on this platform who stole my ideas, stole my original characters, stole everything from me, stole the brand. And I was like, nah, you can't just use the same 3 letters I do, copy my brand, copy my work, and just say it's yours. Right? That's like somebody else writing a book, or like it's you making a movie and you didn't do any work in the movie, but you just sign your name and take it on the ending credits. Yeah, man, that's not right. Credit for the whole thing, and it's nothing to do with you. Because at the end of the day, you're a thief. Exactly. You know, ECW, man, Jay's promotion, I think, is a brand he's going to take off on, because Jay is a hardworking, dedicated person who keeps up on a schedule. Like for me, from a promoter standpoint, dude, that is a fucking tough job. Is to, I've done it, man, and to be having a schedule to keep promoting your brand, to keep doing this, doing that. Hey, we need you. Like I was like being asked too for, hey, we need you for this brand. Hey, I need you to work tonight. Hey, I need you to do this. Hey, I need you to promote this. Okay, what's your guy? And like too is frustrating is not having people answer. Hey, I need your brand. Hey, we need you for this match. Hey, I need you to build for this story. Hey, I need you to show up for this thing. I got this big thing planned for you. I need you showing up. Like, you remember Ethan Mercedes?
Yeah.
In the brand. I don't know if you remember him, but I had this big angle with him where we pitched it in my brand, but I'm like, I need you to fucking show up and like promote the shit out of this because this is what we're doing. Like, I'm pretty much, it was me. I said, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to be your manager. I said, but I'm going to get you to a mid-card title. I said, once I get you to that mid-card title, I said, I'm going to have you go on this badass run. I'm going to have you drop the belt eventually, and then you go after the world title. And then you kind of turn on me, you go heel, and then say, you don't need me anymore, whatever. I got you to, and then I'll go, well, I got you to this point. I got you this far. I was the one who got you all your opportunities, that kind of thing.
That's another thing too, to rebound off that. How do you feel about knowing that you can make your own storylines here with whoever you choose? Like, if that person wants to work with you, then let's work, and you can build a storyline like that, and nobody's gonna tell you, nah, that storyline's way, like, don't do that, because the old brands that we don't want to mention, they do stuff like that. They tell you that the storyline doesn't work, that they don't want to use that.
I think that just shows how kind of uncreative that they are, and I think that shows the creativity between brands, and it shows that the other promoter was way different from the style that A-Dot runs his promotion. You know, I've seen a lot of differences. I've seen people be happier here. They have more freedom to be able to. A-Dot basically says to you, here's a blank canvas, create. You know what I mean? And I like that aspect because it allows you to do what you want to do. Yeah. I don't have to worry about hurting someone.
The thing is too that a lot of you guys haven't noticed yet, unless you guys seen old shows. We do videos, man. Like, we have video segments and stuff where you're out there doing your thing.
Yeah, man, and it's
you know,
it's freaking awesome. Like,
you know, it's like it's different over here. That's just what, like, I'm not hating on anybody else's efed. So when I tell you guys, you know, when I'm out there recruiting, I'm not telling you guys, yo, fuck your shit, fuck that shit over there that you're in. Come over here, this is the best brand. I'm not doing that. I'm over here showing love to your brand or wherever brand you're associated with. I just need you to show me love of mine, and I seen what you could do, so I would like you to join my brand too. That's how I looked at it.
100%. Yeah, and I remember when I was still in the other brand, you had approached me and said, oh, well, I want you to work for this brand. This brand's different. I think it's going to get taken off. And I think the first time, I don't remember what I said, but I think it was something along the lines of, I don't really think that project's going to work for me right now. Like, I have something else going on here in the other brand that I really want to pursue. And I don't know if I'll have time to make the shows and the bookings. So I said no. But now and then I got fired, and I was like, I kind of hit you up and was like, is that offer still on the table? Because I'll take it.
Yeah, man. I was like, man, come on down, bro. You know how it goes, man. Like, it's always love. It's like, I just want to make this brand, like, because I believe in this brand. You get what I'm saying? I have nothing to do with being an owner of this brand or anything. I'm just...
Right. It's just something you believe in, and it's a project that you believe in.
One of my closest friends from, back in the days said he's doing this for a reason. He's doing it for a cause. He's not doing it for his selfishness and to, like, make money out of it or whatever, He's just trying to have some fun for his daughter, and his daughter enjoys this shit. His daughter was the one who thought about it. Like, hey, why don't you do these things that everybody's been doing on Twitch and on YouTube? And he's like, what's that? And she was like, we both like wrestling. She says to him, and let's do it. And look, GW, where it's at now, has a developmental. GKW, hungry superstars such as yourself and others. You know.
I think too. I just want to say big shout out to his daughter, because if
Shout out
his
to Miss
daughter
Dance for
wasn't,
sure.
shout out to her, because if it wasn't for her, then none of this would have happened. I wouldn't be
We
here
wouldn't
right
be
now.
having this
Definitely not.
conversation. Exactly.
I don't know. Obviously, we'd still be friends because we know each other behind the
Correct.
scenes, and I've
Correct.
gotten opportunity to know a few of you guys from that other
Correct.
promotion behind the scenes. These are some of the realest people you'll find. Some of the realest wrestlers you'll find. These are some of the toughest dudes you'll find. Like, we only recruit around here the best of the best. Like, that's what we want here. We want you dedicated. We want you to commit it to our brand, our promotion. And it shows that, like, the young kids that watch this as well. And, like, we're adults, right? We're grown people. Like, I'm in my 20s. You're an adult as well. But it shows the young kids too. Like, pretty much, like, you can put your heart and soul into something and watch it manifest. Like, that's what this brand shows. Even though that it's not real, like, we work.
It's real to us. Yeah, it's real to us. We work our asses off because, like you said, we do it to entertain the viewers, which most of them are, like, mainly the kids that watch this, and that's why we keep the like the energy for them. Like, when I do my promos and when I do all the shit talking and all that, I do it basically thinking about them. Like, oh shit, I want to see what he does next week, or what he does like in 2 days and shit, because there's always a show on like every 2 days. So
it's also knowing what the youth. I'm making myself sound old here.
It's the YouTubers.
It's also
the YouTube kids, man. Everybody who watches YouTube, they're mainly kids, man. All these kids, they're addicted to YouTube, brother.
It's all about knowing what the kids want and knowing what the kids will be into, man.
Correct.
If they see this, like, for example, me and Demon X, because I think this is a good example here. This young, brash fighter coming up and fighting this big, scary demon, right? People are gonna enjoy that. People are gonna pop for that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, kids are gonna pop for that because they're gonna go and look at Demon X and go, "Wow, that's a badass demon character." But I don't know, this big guy, Big B, this 6'2", 250-pound dude, like, he's a real, like, workhorse. Like, he's serious about this. Like, he's big, man, and it makes it exciting. Do we have any young kids in our, do these young kids flock to our roster chats? Because I think honestly, it would be cool for them to see the kind of the behind the scenes and, like, what goes into making this happen.
It's not
from, like, us as the talent.
There's a lot of kids in there, man. They all watch this shit. They're on the Discord, but they don't really we have them on, like, you could do some shit with the server where they can't comment. You know what I'm saying? Like, they can't get into real deep with it. They're
oh yeah, like, it's just for the talent, kind of.
Yeah, they're looking then from, like, a fan perspective. Like, oh, look what he said. Like, how they have servers that are private. You can make these servers private for certain people. You get what I mean? Like, you can't comment to that channel on that server.
Well, let me ask you a question on that front. Is there any of the GK, like, this is going from GKW, because obviously GEW, everybody has their favorites, but is there anybody from the GKW roster that these kids have their eyes on and going, wow?
Possibly. I mean,
these are the next big main eventer, you know what I mean?
Possibly. I mean, you have James Bombshell. Shout out to James Bombshell, which is RJ's kid,
right?
He
Shout out
loves
to him.
this, man, and he's part of this shit too. He's in GKW. He's GKW champion. Who else? We have DJ Shakes P's kids, the Brothers Grimm. They were in GK. They just got called up, but they were in GKW for a while. They watched the GKW shows, watching Zay go crazy with it. Couple other ones, man. I can't think of them on the top, but it's a couple kids out there, man. 787 is another kid. He's in the original show though, but he watches GKW and we'll go at it with some of you guys too eventually.
Right, and I think the only thing is with 787 is he knows kind of like this is for fun. Like, and so I think with certain kids, I think why the kids shouldn't be a part of this. I always had a take on this is kids shouldn't be a part of the company and just be observers, because there are some people like me who like to be I started as an observer, and then I kind of this is cool. Let me try out this. And I made a character of my own, and I kind of did my own things. And it's, a message to all the young kids and that watch our stuff is, again, we're all adults. Like, we know what we're doing. At the end of the day, like, don't come into these chats and think you're just going to cut a promo on one of us and know that, think that it's going to stick, man. Like, what we do is we keep it strictly professional. We've watched people before us do this. So we've had our mentors, we've had our training. Like, we've watched people, we watched the older generation. Like, I've watched the generation before me do this, and I was an admirer of it. So, like, I know what to say and what not because I learned from the best of the best.
That's correct.
Pretty much study, know your craft. Like, y'all want to get into this, but to be honest, like, I don't think these kids are ready to be a part of it. And like, there's certain ones like RJ's kid who's perfectly capable of being a part of this stuff. But like, I'm talking about the outside kids, like the kids that just click on our channel and go, "Oh, cool, yeah, these guys are wrestlers. This is a cool brand. Like, I'm gonna subscribe."
Absolutely.
And then they're gonna be like, "Oh, well, I want to know more about this brand. Like, I want to be more involved." Like, no, you can't be more involved because we
go too hard
set it to you need to get training. Like, you need to get taught, and like, a lot of us can teach you, dude. Like, I've been in this game. I've trained a lot of kids and a lot of that sounds wrong, but like a lot of young wrestlers to be the promo artists that they are today and to be able to articulate themselves. And I'm still teaching people in the roster chat, how to cut a promo and telling them like, yo, we need to do this. Like, we need to do it big. We need to do it right. Like, I'm constantly still, as a wrestler and me doing this, and I'm learning from my own mistakes and learning from 6 years of me doing this wrestling stuff. I'm still learning, 6 years into the business, and me being I wouldn't call myself a grizzled vet, but I'd call myself like sort of like getting into that veteran stage of my career.
Correct.
Like, I've been in this game for a long time. I know what needs to happen, and I know I can coach you at the end of the day, and I can coach these young kids on promo skills and stuff like that and being a wrestler. But at the end of the day, you won't know how hard it is until you get in the ring and you step in the ring and step in between those ropes and you wrestle and you have your very first match and your very first fight for the first time. Like,
yeah, man, that's I'm telling you, man, it's gonna get crazy because like I can't wait for you guys to like get called up already. You get what I'm saying? That's what I'm gonna say, because I have so much ideas and I like you guys so much that I think that it will work. You get what I'm saying? No, for sure, bro. Like, it will work because you guys are good. You know what I mean? Like, not only on the mic, but you guys are good in the ring as well. So shout out to you guys.
I was always good at promo. Like, dude, it was years of just practicing lines and just like, it would be me saying lines to myself in the mirror and hearing if they sounded good, and starting from there and being like, oh no, I mean, this doesn't sound good, this doesn't stick right, this doesn't cut deep. And then I watch, like, I'm a pro wrestling fan first, man, and then I'm a wrestler next. So I watch from the best of the best on television. Like, and that's a message to these young kids too, is start by watching pro wrestling. Start by watching the wrestlers of today, and start by watching how they talk. Start by watching how they wrestle, how they move in the ring, how they work out, how they stay in shape to do, like, hone in on the little things, I would say. Watch TV first. Watch wrestling on television first, so you kind of get to know a little bit more about the characters and how they do things. Then watch a match. Watch Monday Night Raw. Watch Friday Night SmackDown. Watch AEW Dynamite, because if you're an up-and-coming wrestler or want to do this and want to be a part of our crew, man, you totally can. Again, you gotta study your craft. You gotta learn. You gotta educate yourself on the pro wrestling business. We have all educated ourselves in the efed space, and we've educated ourselves in professional wrestling. That's why we're at the point that we're at. That's why we're all here. Because, again, that's why we perform, because we're educated on our sport.
You gotta master your craft. Right? That's pretty much how it works. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And you can't master it in a day. You can't be good at cutting a promo in a Discord chat in a day. You can't. It takes years to get to that level.
You're right.
It takes time after time after time. Failed promo after failed promo. And You know, there are certain things where I've had the boys tell me in private, in the chats, in the roster chats, and in private, like, yo, that shit was really just fucking awful. It was atrocious. It was bad. It wasn't good. Like,
take that down, right?
Yeah, like take that down, or hey, we need, you can better word it in this way. But also too is getting into character too. It's not all about sometimes what you say. It's not all about how you say things. Sometimes it's what you say that.
It's not how you say it. I mean, it's not what you say. It's how you say it. You know what I mean? Like, I get what you're saying.
Like WWE don't get real in promos, because WWE gets real, but again, it's strictly for entertainment, right? With the whole Samoa Joe promos in WWE, which a lot of his shit crossed the line. We knew it was strictly for entertainment.
Yeah, because he was the original Nation of Violence and all that shit, you know. So, shout out to Samoa Joe.
Yeah, but again, know your craft, study, pick out wrestlers that you like on TV, watch what they do, watch how they act, watch how they train, watch how they perform. Study little things. Then, if you want to become a promoter, I wouldn't say watching on TV is the best thing. Go to a live wrestling event. Any live wrestling event, whether it's an indie event, a WWE event, AEW, Ring of Honor, and just watch the moving parts and watch how they move. And I always looked at this as a kid. I didn't realize it, but now as an adult, going to wrestling shows, like, it takes a lot of work in real life wrestling and in the efed scene. It takes a lot of work to put these shows on. Like, these are not just thrown together shows. Like, these are real legit. Like, it takes a lot of work, from production to lighting to camera to action to commentary to making sure you know your lines on commentary. Like, y'all notice on commentary, the commentators literally have the script right in front of them of what they're supposed to say.
Unless you're good old JR.
Yeah. And even in WWE, like, I know WWE, like, you always see papers on the table, on the commentator table, when they pan the camera on the commentary booth. That's them reading from their script. It's literally them.
Hey, man.
Like, they literally have the name Scott. Okay, this is what Scott's supposed to say. Like, I don't know. Just, again, know the business. You can even ask us questions. Like, if you want to ask a question, or you want to be trained by one of us, ask us questions, because we know about this shit. Ask us questions about the business. Ask us how you can get into GEW, what it takes to get to the level that we're at.
That's correct.
Ask us. Like, we're not afraid to answer any questions you guys got, because again, we're here to. And if you also too have a constructive criticism, find one of us in the roster chat. There's like, what, 30 of us, 40 of us, or is there more than that?
We're currently at 76, I want to say, something like that, active.
Okay. So there's 76 of us in the roster chat. Ask one of us a question. Like, you can ask, like, okay, how did your character come to this? Or, we're all about, again, getting people involved, but we want people to know the product, and we want people to understand that at the end of the day, right, this is efed, this is Twitch, this is for fun. But we take this seriously because we want to put on a good product. There's not
said that any better.
Yeah. Just know your stuff. There's a reason we got 100,000 views. There's a reason we have guys in GKW that are stepping it up, and I think GKW legitimately can be the next brand, can be the next big top global brand. I firmly think that in my heart of hearts.
I want to see a pay-per-view GKW versus GEW. I would love to see that.
That would be sick. A good, like, Survivor Series, like, style, brand war, good old-fashioned WWE versus WCW.
Right.
But no, ask us questions. Like, all of us are, we're adults, but we're open to questions.
I'm always definitely ready to answer any questions.
Just when you hit us in our DMs, just make sure you keep it. I don't know how to say this, but I don't know. I can't stress this enough. But keep it wrestling. Do not go off and go on weird tangents, or, like, I don't know, just trying to think we're, your friend at the end of the day. Like, we're trying to be more of mentors, than friends, because, again, you all young kids. Like, we're just trying to, again, have fun, but teach you the ropes as well. Like, we had mentors and other people in this space teach us the ropes, and that's how we got to where we are today. Because we put in the time, we put in the effort, we put in the work, and we studied our craft, and we became educated. So that's all I got to say on that.
Definitely. Yeah, man. So, you got any questions that you want to ask me before we call it a night?
All right. So, how many questions do I get? Like 5,
You
right?
get like 5 questions, be like.
All right. So, as a whole, as a brand, where do you picture us in the next maybe, let's say, 5 to 10 years? Like, where do you picture GEW and GKW? Where do you picture
if they keep doing it the way they're doing it and it gets better, and like we get a lot of more like subscribers, and I think there's a potential, if you want to say like 10 years, there's a potential shot of maybe a game being constructed by us type shit, you know what I mean? Like, what our ideas and how we want the game to be, and we'll have all our legit characters. So they say we do have, by that time we'll have probably like shitload of members like us, like me and you know, participants. Imagine something like that where we have a fucking roster with like hundreds of people that are legitimate people like us that just talk shit to each other on Discord.
Doing a video game about us, dude, that'd be incredible. The GEW official video
global productions.
That would be crazy. All right. My next question, I guess, is: do you think that there's any of these like young kids that could one day make it to the level that we're at, or do you think they should just stay fans and enjoy us and be a part of the product in that way?
I think they can make it like us. They just gotta, like, you know, do what they do what we do, but like, you know, keep it the way we do it. Like, you know, don't do it to be a tough guy or anything like that, to like be a bully. Like, do it to have fun, because we're doing it to have fun. We're not doing it to be bullies and shit. I don't try to bully people when I talk shit about them. So
right, and we also all know each other behind the scenes, so it's, you know, I know Demon X, I know Jay, I know Dimebag, I know Chingon behind the scenes, A-Dot a little bit. Like, I'm slowly getting to know everybody behind the scenes, and I've only been here for what, a couple of weeks.
Right.
I've only had, I think, 3 matches. So, like, learn from me, and like, I'm showing you what you should do and what you shouldn't do. So, like, if you're like a young rookie to learn from, I guess learn from me.
Right.
And guys like Demon X and guys like Jay and guys like Shingon, like, and if you want to learn even from the top of the top, go Dimebag, go RJ Bombshell, go learn from Sergeant General as well.
Correct.
Just keep learning, keep studying, and maybe one day you could end up like in our chat and get to even fight one of us, which would be pretty cool. All right, is there anybody you have your eye on right now? And if so, who's your number one kind of like, or who's your top 5 kind of guys right now to have a match with?
GKW or GW?
Either, or you know what? We'll go 10. We'll give you 5 GEW guys and 5 GKW guys.
Well, GW is basically, I've done for the majority of them, but I would like to see me and Hopkins. I would like to take a crack at the General again. Also, it's tough because I don't really. I'll take another shot at Zay. I'll definitely want to fight Tolos, the World Heavyweight Champ. And one more, right?
Alright.
The GKW, you know, I'm going to put you first. I want to say Demon King. I would like to fight him also.
There you go.
Jay North, he looks tough. I already fought Chingon before, but I'll fight him again. You know, But mainly, like, there's people in GKW like that we're not even mentioning that are really like tough motherfuckers too. Like, shout out to Emax, Mark Thunderstone, um, a couple guys like that. I just can't really name them all right now because.
I think it's too with us is we a year ago we're in a feud. Now a year later it's kind of circling back. We have such a good story going. I'm the King of New York champion as well. You want that title, so then it's kind of like you wanted that title for so long, kind of never had your shot.
Really held it, yeah.
So now it's everything full circle. Plus now we have Demon X on top of that as well in the story. So it's like, dude, like you couldn't ask for a better story. Like it's like the Bloodline and then Zayn and Owens. Like there's so many pieces. There were so many pieces involved in that story, which made it great. In that story, man, there's so many pieces involved because then you got Chingon. Now you got Demon X. Demon X and I are the main story. Then you got Dimebag. Then you got Jay. Then you got Chingon as well. So like, there's all these different people that are making the story so great because there's so many layers, so many elements, so many like. I don't want to say you guys are side quests, but like, there's so many like things for us to keep going and do and make this story great, and that's what makes it special.
Yeah, man, 100%.
What did I ask? Like 3 questions, I think.
You got 2 in.
All right. If there's one belt in GW or GKW that you want right now, there's one title you're going for. You can't challenge for any other belt but this one. What is it and why?
Oh, I would like to go for the GKW World Championship and also the GW World Championship because I definitely always wanted the GW Championship. And I would like to unify them, make them shits like I'm the king of the brand in general. This is the same umbrella. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I would do that.
And let's see. Demon X. Should I let you ask the question? Demon X still in here?
Yeah,
Demon X Phantom.
Yeah, he's there.
Oh, Jason too. All right. Do y'all want to ask a question? Because I can't think of it. I'm like out of questions. Or out of ideas right now because it's like 2:49 in the morning.
Yeah,
I'm literally gonna probably go to sleep after this. Right, let me know if y'all got any questions before. I'll stay on for like 5 more minutes, 10 maybe, and then we'll end it. I gotta get to sleep.
Yeah.
You know what I think would make history though for the GKW title? Whether it's GKW or the King of New York belt. What do you think about it like this? Like we always talk about in GKW doing something that's never been done before. What about a GKW King of New York War Games match?
Ooh.
Where whoever pins the King of New York champion gets a shot at the King of New York title. Like that person, like, let's say you're the King of New York champion, I pin you, right? I'm automatically the #1 contender. Or
How about something like if since you won the King of New York championship in his Fight Club, how about bringing that belt into GW or GKW for whoever has it? You know what I'm saying?
That sounds good to me. I mean, we had Sergeant General, who, shout out to him, was a great champion. He was a warrior, man. He was tough to fight. I said it before. I felt myself getting knocked around that ring, silly and getting whooped, and it. Hope was slipping from my fingers, man. Like I felt like that title wasn't going to be mine, man. But then I tapped into that reserve, and I just kept fighting and kept fighting and kept fighting, and the title was eventually mine. And it's so crazy to think about. Like I've been the champ for 2 days, and I still haven't processed that yet. And I also want to say, and I've been asked this question a couple times, of why am I not on Fight Club? The reason I am not going to Fight Club this week is I want to kind of scout out talent, and I kind of want to observe a little bit. Right? I've been on Fight Club for 2 weeks. I kind of want to, I don't know. I just feel like I should observe this week, kind of see, and again, Dimebag and Demon X-Men, that match, I got to have my eye on because winner of that gets me. So
we're coming. One of us is coming for you. So.
And I welcome the challenge. At the end of the day, man, it's like I know.
I got a simple one for you. There you go. What's next for Big B?
Ooh.
Considering that you just need at least 3 matches in GKW to prove that you're ready for the big dogs up here in GKW. What's next for you in this process?
See, that's hard because I would like to think that I'm ready now, but at the same time, I want to be grounded and I want to stay humble because I think that I am going to be eventually. I don't think I'm on the level yet of RJ Bombshell. I think I bring a very different fight than he does. But I think for what's next for me, man, it's just right now I'm focused on that King of New York championship. I'm focused on doing things different than it ever was before, making the belt great. Because the way for what's next, when I always think of is how can I do this differently? How can I make this different than the previous holder that held this title? Right? Sergeant General was the last champion. The things like I've been partying and stuff and celebrating. So the thing I've been thinking of, man, and I'll be back in camp 2 days for my camp against Manny Mags, against Chingon. Pretty much what's next for me is to fight the best of the best, fight the top talent. And eventually, I think with a couple more wins under my belt, I think GEW will be as good as mine, the call-up. Like, I'll be there wrestling with you. We'll get to have matches every week. I think what's next for me is revolutionizing this belt and making this belt the belt. So that way I can get in the conversation for a world title shot or an intercontinental title shot or, I want to be in those conversations. How do you get in these conversations? By proving right now with other titles like the King of New York title and making that the most prestigious, the most revolutionary, the most badass, the most hardcore championship that can be made in this company, and then revolutionizing and bouncing off and then going, let's say I want to get to the main event level. Obviously right now I'm sort of at that like mid card, but I've proven I can be at main event kind of level.
Nice.
So I think what's next for me is really just, again, I'm focused on this title. I'm focused on making this revolutionary and badass and something that these kids can watch with their 100,000 subscribers on GEW can watch, the 100,000 viewers, and these young kids can watch and be like, damn, well, this kid kept losing matches and now he's, with the title, he's revolutionizing that belt and he's doing things. And that's why I welcome challenges and I welcome all comers to my belt. Because I want to beat y'all one by one because I want to prove. In my mind, I can sit here and say I got nothing to prove. I can sit here and give you a promo. I can sit here and give you the same old shtick that Big B would say right off the bat because he just doesn't care. Right? He doesn't care about who his opponent is. He'll rip him apart piece by piece. I can give you that whole spiel. But I'm passionate about this title. I wanted this title. I guess it was kind of a weird turn of events. I think I knew the day before I think I knew Saturday afternoon that it was going to be a title match. Before that, I didn't even know I was challenged. I was running for the King of New York belt, and now it's
yours.
Now it's mine. You know what I mean? And I'm looking to. I don't know Demon X is saying cap, but just remember, Demon X, a little message to you, buddy. Just remember who said no to fighting me when I didn't have a belt, and now who's all of a sudden saying yes now that I have a championship. So up yours.
Yikes. You heard it here first, people.
I appreciate you having me on the show, by the way. This was a great experience.
It's a pleasure, brother. It's always an honor to have you, especially new talent that I know you behind the scenes, like I said before, and I know you from other efeds, so I know what you're about. So I'm glad that you're here in GEW. I'm glad that you're on my show, this and that. And like I said, man, I can't wait for you and the others, some of the others, because we got some shit ready for you guys. You know what I mean? Like some good. So,
Thank you, man. Oh, also, I wanted to say one more thing and one more idea that I had in my brain. What if we put up a poll for, like, I guess on either Facebook, like, or Discord, of you, like, y'all taking up a poll and being like, okay, who's your favorite GKW superstar? I'm putting up, like, my name, Demon King's name, Jay's name, and a few others, and seeing. I kind of would be curious to see who people would pick out of the current GKW guys. We got a lot of new guys, like myself, like Jay North, like Demon King. I'm curious to hear who the young people, like the kids, would pick, and like who the younger audience would pick, and the people that don't do this and not a part of our roster chat. Like, so I think in general, in the grand scheme of things, we should set a poll up and see who the younger audience's favorite and who the audience's favorite GKW guy is. Because I think I'd be curious to see those results.
That's a good point. Let's see what we can do.
Like, we'll put it up on, like, YouTube, or what can we do? Like, YouTube, Discord?
We could put it on Discord, and I'll put it on the Facebook too. If you're on the Facebook group, I'll put it up there too.
Alright. I'm on the Discord one, so I'll see it there.
For sure.
Yeah, because I'm curious, and also to the younger audience and to the kids out there, vote in the poll. I'm actually curious what you guys have to think and what you guys have to say. And also, if you want to comment on one of us, hit our direct messages. I know you can't comment in the actual chat because it's going to have you restricted.
They can like it, but they can't. They can't comment on it.
So I would say hit one of us up in the DMs, and, like, if y'all like a certain thing about us, like, I'll say, like, if I have a fan, I'll say thank you, I appreciate it. And if you want to tell me something like maybe what I can do better and what can I do to be more entertaining, I'll take constructive criticism from the audience, because it helps me get better. It helps me to know, like, what I can do right and what I'm doing wrong and how to fix it. So that's all I got to say on that.
Nice.
Just let me know when you put the poll up.
Yeah, I'll put it.
Probably
tomorrow.
be tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll put it up tomorrow. Make that happen.
All right, take care. It's been a pleasure. I gotta go get some rest because it's like 3 a.m. already.
For sure, man. Thank you again for coming on the show. This is another episode.
Problem, man.
This and that, Mr. 357. I'm over here with Big B.
Facts. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. The Nightmare and the King of New York champ gonna be coming at you. Y'all can catch me on GKW. Y'all can catch me on Fight Club. I'll be there. Y'all can catch me in the YouTube chat. And if any of y'all, the younger viewers, anybody in the audience ever want to hit me up on Discord. Let me know, hey, you're a fan of me. Hey, what can I do better? I can take constructive criticism, or you just like my work and enjoy it. I appreciate all y'all out there. Appreciate A-Dot for giving me this opportunity to be a part of his company, because he didn't have to let me in. Appreciate Dimebag for recruiting me and letting me in.
Thanks.
And appreciate his daughter as well, because without his daughter, there would be no GKW, there would be no us, and there would be no inception of this great brand, and there would be no 100K views to be proud of.
Correct.
And there would be no first ever pay-per-view, which allows us to be an historic brand, because the pay-per-view allowed us to be ourselves, and it allowed us to, and two, if you want to see the real behind-the-scenes us and see how we really are behind the scenes, not in character, go check out that Discord chat.
Yes, sir. And also remember, tune in Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, June 16th, GW Baptized in Blood pay-per-view.
Where Dimebag is headlining.
You already know. All right, brother. So, again, it's been an honor. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
We could run this back again some other time, maybe another different occasion. We could talk about better things that happen between now and then. Get what I'm saying?
Exactly. I'm down for it. I'm always game. Thank you for having me.
Always, brother.
Take care, y'all, and peace.
Peace.